Pardon?
We had a lot of time for viewer questions.
Oh, heavens. Now, I have this article on Maggie.
Okay.
Mark, what you call Maggie. And I can lend it to you, but I want it back.
Okay.
Because she's a very, very dear friend of mine from about 1920 on. So I don't want to lose it. It was from Juno.
Uh-huh.
It was in the Juno paper. They had oh, no.
She needs to leave by noon.
Oh, okay.
Hello? Yes. Yeah, they're here. Thanks. Bye.
Anyway, yeah, there's some controversy over which of you were the first licensed woman, but there's...
By examination.
Okay.
No, there's no controversy.
Uh-huh.
She was registered by, what's on the old timers law. Oh.
Not NCAR.
Hmm?
Not the AIA or NCAR.
No. Those who were practicing were permitted to get their licenses, like my father.
A grandfather clause.
Yeah, I had a stroke 9 years ago, and this is what happens to me. So just bear with me. But she was number one, and she is number one. Believe me.
Really?
I just hold her in very high regard.
Okay, well, we'll review it and return it
Yeah,
at our
please
second
be
interview.
sure.
What is your
Okay.
mailing address?
Pardon?
Well, is your mailing address right here, 160 Skyline?
Yeah.
To return your newspaper article?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
very
fine.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Do you want me to check?
now it's pretty much an ordeal. You take all nine
Well,
sections
I don't know.
at once.
I don't know. I'll tell you. I was on the board for 5 years.
In the early 60s.
In the old days, is right.
Yeah.
And we had to not only write the darn things, but we had to grade them. And we gave them twice a year. And that's fun.
Huh.
That's a job. And I'll tell you, it's harder to write exams than it is to teach them.
I
It
would
really
know
is.
about that.
No, it is. It is. To be
I'll take your
fair,
word.
to be fair.
Sure. So what kind of unusual pressures were on you? You were the only woman in the room, I'm sure, taking the exam.
I have a bum ear.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you remember it being like when you were sitting there in the examination room?
Oh, heavens, I don't know. It's so long ago.
Unpleasant memory.
I don't. I just concentrated on what I was doing. That's what I could do and hope.
Very intense, probably.
Very, very, yeah.
Yeah.
Was your father the major person in your life that encouraged you to go ahead with architecture?
My father never said boo.
How about your mom?
No.
No?
And I think it was simply that I was a victim of circumstance, because after the fire, my dad had to move his office back to
Your
our
basement.
and I was exposed to it then. And
How old were you at the time?
I was in 22. I was in 9. No, in 8.
Okay.
Well, it was December, and I'm born in January, so I was about 9. Yeah, and then Dad was on the first state board, and many after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Margaret was selected as secretary. And about, I was looking at that article. There's nothing said there about it, but I think it must have been about 1923 or 23. And of course, then we became very good friends. And they used to stay at our place at the beach, and we've been close friends ever since. We've been up to see her many times in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
And excuse me, she never said anything either, but it was just the association. But I really wanted to go into medicine. And as I was reading that article, rereading it again now, she also had a bent toward medicine. And there's something about it. So I was real happy when we got into the hospital field. I liked that.
Oh, designing hospitals. So she was more or less kind of the spark for you that got you,
Well,
that gave you courage.
not really. I went down to the campus. I didn't know what I wanted to be, to take. I knew I didn't want to go into music. My older sisters had been in music. I didn't want to go into physical ed. So I just walked over to the art building.
Did you feel like those were your only three choices?
Oh, I didn't even bother to think about it. I just went there. It was interesting.
Huh.
It was a grind,
Uh-huh.
but it was interesting.
But at this point, it was mostly a male-dominated
Oh,
field.
definitely.
So did
Yeah.
you get resistance from
No.
male? No?
No.
Great.
How about resistance from professors? More the older.
How about what?
How about resistance from professors?
No.
Not resistance from
No,
your
no, not at
classmates.
all. Not at all.
Huh. Had your father's reputation preceded you? They must have known who,
Wicks was.
you know.
I don't
And,
know.
Huh.
Nobody ever expressed it if it were true.
oh, really? Huh. I wanted to ask you one question about your seaside sommerstuga. I lived in Sweden for a year. Oh, well.
Stuga
Yeah.
was at Cannon Beach.
Right. I was at Cannon Beach. Okay, sorry. Anyway, you helped your father build it. There's no.
I was a kid.
You were just like, well,
Yeah,
there's
it's
something
19
about in the bio about picking out cobblestones that were
Oh,
the exact
well,
right
yeah.
kind.
Well, anybody can do that.
Yeah, well, you were in on the building process.
Oh,
so to
well,
speak.
sure.
Was
Okay.
that
I
an
suppose.
early spark that made you think, yeah, this is kind of fun?
I don't know. I guess I'm naive or stupid. I just went over to the art building and that was it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I didn't have any great
Yeah.
yen one way or the other except medicine. That was always in my mind. But you see, it was Depression time. Well, I was in university from 32. Then I stayed out 1 year between my 4th and 5th years. Excuse me, my medication. And
No problem.
what was I saying?
You took a year off between 4th and 5th years?
Yeah, I know that, but there was something else I was going to tell you. Just a minute, I can't agree.
Sure.
No. My two sisters had gone through the university, and I didn't feel that I should put my dad through that for the third go-around.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened. I thought I better stick with something that wouldn't take 9 or 10 years.
Right. Right. So did you work for your father that year you were off, and then
Yeah.
through the war also?
Yeah.
It seems like he worked for the maritime.
Oh, no, he worked,
Wow.
no, he had been a stockholder in a shipbuilding company in the First World War. And when the work dried up at the beginning of World War II, I didn't want to go into a shipyard to draft. And he thought, well, he might as well to keep busy, because he was never one to sit around.
Right.
And then I came up to Portland. I can't remember how I got into Vancouver Housing Authority, but Don Edmondson quit. He just passed away. And so they called me and gave me this job. I guess that was it, to clean up the work that he had left. It was about 2 or 3 months' work that had piled up, and I went through that in 2 weeks. And then I had nothing to do but sit there and look at the dentist pulling teeth across the way, and that wasn't very enlightening or interesting. So I think Mary Alice called me. I told her how bored I was, and I didn't feel that I was justified in sitting there getting their paychecks and doing nothing. So she happened to call and said, come on over to Piero's because they need some help. So I went over there and I stayed there and worked. And you talk about people influencing you. At noon, of course, we were out on Canyon, where his office was.
Is this Pietro
Yeah,
Luci?
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And we used to get box lunches every day, and then we'd go down to the library. And Walter Gordon and Sheldon Brumbaugh were there. And you probably don't know beans about Sheldon Brumbaugh, but he was a very old and dear friend of Piero's. We had lived together many years before, and both architects. And he was a great guy. And the three of us, and then the others would come down when they could, and we would have real good conversations about architecture. And Sheldon had been a student at Cranbrook, and of course I always,
Contemporary with with you, or
Pardon?
at the same time?
Oh,
you were
no,
there?
he was much older than
I see.
He was Piero's vintage.
Were you at Cranbrook with someone named Peter Van Dyke?
No,
Does the name ring a bell? No.
doesn't ring a bell.
I'll ask more about that later.
I was probably many years before.
Not so many.
Yeah. But I think that encouragement and that stimulation made a big difference to me. Although I've always said that I felt that I was able to go to Cranbrook because it was wartime, and there were 8 or 9 architects, and they were all men, and 3 of them, 3 Japanese, a South African, Texan. Well, there were about 8 or 9 of us anyway. Oh, and a fellow from Baghdad, and so they just needed more students, so I got in. But I had a ball. I loved it. I just loved it.
So do you think it was thanks to the war that a lot of women got into the field, thanks to the war, thanks to the shortage of men?
Oh, I don't know about the field.
But as far as getting into Cranbrook or
Well,
I mean, it would just,
I'm
you know.
being facetious.
No, but I mean, it did help, or it made it a bit easier, maybe?
Well, I think that probably is true. Yes.
Because I know that Pietro Belushi had a famous quote that he said, "Oh, it's a horrible field. I would never recommend that women go into it, except for if she's," and this is the big quote, "that exceptional one."
Well, I think that was true. But I certainly don't consider myself exceptional, except that I had Sicilic. You know what that is. Stick to it, and you're willing to work. It's a very demanding profession. And when kids in schools, you know, they have these sessions where they talk about occupations, and kids want to know. And the first question invariably is, how much do you make? And if you're going in with that thought, forget it.
Show them the door.
Yeah, forget it.
Do you talk to school groups?
I don't, but my husband has, and then when we had a partner, he did. We had a very small practice, but we were busy as bird dogs because my dad was a Rotarian from way back, and he had the original Rotary motto that was hanging up over his desk. He profits most who serves best, and I that's always sort of been my motto too. And we broke our backs for our clients, and our kids always said, I'm not going to be an architect, I'm not going to work as hard as you do. But and they didn't go that way. But
did you meet your husband while you were back east at Cranbrook?
Yes, he was a widower.
Oh.
Yeah, he had 4 boys. The youngest one was born in October, and his wife died the day before Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
So you can imagine, but we didn't have him for quite a few years until he was older. And we had the other 3. And boy, it was a handful.
How did you meet him? He was a practicing
He was at
architect?
Saarinen's.
Say again?
He was at Saarinen's office.
Oh.
He
He worked for Aero and Elio. Yeah.
Oh.
And
Wow. Did you take any studios taught by them?
Take what?
Did you take any studios taught by Sarandon at all?
Copy.
Did you take any studios, any classes at Cranbrook taught
Oh
by
yeah,
Sarandon?
I got my master's there.
Right, but you know, typically I was at Penn when Lou Kahn was there, or a little bit after, and you didn't necessarily take a course under Kahn unless you were very upper level.
No, he wasn't there when I was there.
I see. Okay, well, you were able to really be influenced by the best in architecture at that point. I mean,
Well, Saarinen,
yeah.
Elio, he was my mentor. When I arrived there, he greeted me, and of course I saw Mammy first, and she greeted me as her fellow countryman, so I knew I was in.
Right.
But
right.
She was a sweet Finn too. So he said, "Well, you're here to learn, but I don't teach. You go talk to Mr. Granger." So I talked to Mr. Granger, the Texan, but I didn't get much from him.
Well, the Sarandons were very famous for the women in their families were also very involved in, well, kind of adjacent fields.
I think that's one of the things that they asked one question here about going what people should, background stuff. Well, you should get as much education in related fields as you can, or exposure, let's put it that way, that's a better word. And we did. If some of the kids were going to open a kiln at 2 a.m., we'd all swarm down there to watch Stiltney. It didn't mean that we were potters,
Right.
or weavers, or sculptors, or painters, or anything else, but we were exposed to all of these different things. And I think that's something that you really should have.
From what I've read about the Cranbrook, it was a very fertile environment.
Very. It was utopia.
I bet you've never seen anything or experienced anything like that
No,
since.
and it never would be that way again. Because you see, Saarinen, in his own right, was world famous. He brought in Maya Grotel, world famous ceramist. Harold Millis, another one, and so on down the line, and you rubbed elbows with the best.
Unfortunately, being so young at the time, you're not in awe.
I wasn't so young then.
Oh.
35, 34, 33, something like that.
So you were a little bit older. Okay.
Yeah, and from this vantage point, I was a kid.
Yeah, really. So did you go back there after you had already had kids?
I didn't have them, see. I inherited them.
But then you had 3 of your own?
No. Just these 3 boys that Ernie had.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, no. That was enough, believe me.
Hey, more than enough.
After you received your undergraduate degree at University of
Yeah.
Oregon, how many years was it until you went back east to get your graduate degree?
45. Let's see, I got my master's in 37. I mean, my Bachelor of Architecture and my master's in 45 or something. I can't even remember. Yeah, 46. And I was there a year and a half.
Okay. Stop again.
So during that period, you worked with your dad in Astoria?
No, that was when, see, the war was in 42, 41,
Right.
42, something like that. Well, then I was up in Portland.
Oh.
Well, yeah. 42, Beluski's. And then that dried up after about a year, and then I went over to Glenn Stanton's for a while. That was the only time I felt any resentment at all, and it was very minor. But I had gotten a couple of little jobs on the side from, let's see, what was it called? Housing, anyway, it was federal housing out of Seattle. And they had been down at Stanton's office, and a couple of these fellows, I guess, took kind of a liking to me, so they gave me a couple of these housing jobs. And I did them on the side, and Glenn didn't like that. That was but he calmed down after a while. But when his work began to dry up, then I was the first to go, and I knew it had to do with this. And then after that, I had a couple more, and he didn't like that. But that was fine. I didn't care.
Well, nothing's changed. They still don't like freelance work on the side.
Yeah.
So you didn't experience a lot of discrimination. That's not something that really sticks out in your mind.
I didn't have
That's
any.
great.
I didn't have any at the university. I behaved myself, and the fellows respected me, and they still do.
As they
They're
should.
still just as friendly and warm and kind. And
By behave yourself, do you mean that you had to kind of be even straighter than straight? You had to always, be thinking about what you were going to say.
I was me. That's
You
all.
were just you.
You just.
Okay. Well, with such a well-disciplined father, I can see how you had that upbringing. Was it almost very big shoes to fill? I mean, your father was so civically prominent and so engaged in public affairs, and with such an upstanding citizen of
I
Astoria.
never looked at it that way. I wasn't trying to fill anybody's shoes.
Well, that's good.
I'm just me.
That's
Wow.
neat. That's wonderful.
I wanted to ask you one more question about your master's thesis at Cranbrook.
Yeah.
From what I gather, the city of Astoria made a lot of planning decisions. That did they see your thesis, or did they make these?
Yes, they did.
Did they base some of their planning decisions on your
No.
master's thesis, or just?
They patted me on the
ideas?
head, said, "This is very nice." They wanted a meeting at the Chamber of Commerce, so I took my models down,
Uh huh.
and that's a chore.
Mm.
And after the meeting, "Well, this is all very nice and very interesting, but take your toys and go home, little girl." So every time I cross the Youngs Bay Bridge, I laugh because they said it could never be done.
Ha ha ha. Really?
Yeah.
Did you feel like they were belittling you?
They were what?
They weren't really acknowledging how farsighted you were being at all.
How what?
They weren't taking you seriously.
No, no.
And they were just patting you.
No.
Yeah.
It was just a drill, you know.
Yeah,
But
I guess so.
many things have happened,
Uh-huh.
and it makes me laugh.
Well, it sounds as if maybe you have run into some discrimination, but you just didn't take it personal. You just kind of, because you knew
I wouldn't say it was discrimination. I think they just thought it was a pipe dream, and it could never happen. Please.
And they would have said that to you if you were a guy
Oh,
or
I
a
think
woman.
so. I think so.
Uh-huh.
Well, it must feel great, though, how accurate you were.
Yes, in more ways than one.
Ah,
I mean, it must be very
and
satisfying.
now it's coming to pass too, I think.
well, you have the last laugh, right?
I have what?
You have the last laugh.
Yeah, I do, but I keep it to myself. I don't.
Whatever. If you had had a daughter, it sounds like you weren't blessed that way.
No.
What would you have told her if she said, "I want to become an architect"? Or any of your sons? What would you have told them?
Well, go down there and start in the field, and then see how you react. There are many ways you can go, you know, and particularly for a woman. She doesn't have to necessarily be a star designer or anything like that. And I certainly was not. I really was most interested in urban planning. As Margaret, I was kind of surprised when I read that this morning that her desire was the same way after medicine. But no, I'd tell them to poke around and see how you react to it, and if you think that's something you want to do. And for women, my goodness, there's everything from office management to marketing to illustrating to model making to beside drafting, you know, and then you can go into the engineering facets, electrical or even mechanical. There's some very fine women.
Yeah. Given the instability of the field, at any point did you think of branching off into any of those tangents?
No, because after I had been at Cranbrook, of course I was interested in urban planning, but there wasn't any such a thing around Astoria, and then I had met Ernie, and that's what happens. And then after we were in practice ourselves, we were so busy that, and there was so little around Astoria, we had to go afield. Oh, that's my husband. I gotta send him out. And Jody Key.
Yeah.
We'd love to talk to both of you.
So young. Why don't you go and have lunch over there, and then you can take me out afterwards.
Well, we have to be out of here by 2.
I know, but well, it's not going to be 2 o'clock here.
Okay.
But why don't you have lunch with the guys over there?
Well, we're only going to be here till noon. If you'd like to sit down and speak with us.
No.
No. Okay. No.
I mean, we were sitting down there. We remembered you walking past.
Oh.
12:30
Yeah.
or so.
All right. Okay. Goodbye. He's just next door.
Oh, really?
That's Scottish, right? And that's what I told. That's what I told Elizabeth. He's right next door. Scottish, right?
Right.
Okay.
At any rate, what we're both really interested in, what dynamics or what strains does it put on an architectural practice when you're a husband and wife team?
And your father was there too, wasn't he?
My father had retired more or less, but he kept his little office there. He did a lot of little things.
He liked to fly whenever you went to Spokane.
But that was the one and only, and it wasn't long after that he died.
Oh.
But no, he just wanted a place to go. And his good buddy Al Norblad had his little office next door. They had been buddies for years and years. And he just wanted a place to go, not sit around the house.
And they played a lot of practical jokes.
Oh boy, I'll say. Yes.
I read about the cheese.
Yeah.
But what were the particular strains or the way that an architectural practice is different if it's a husband and wife practicing? Good, bad?
No, I think it's very good.
How about your children? What ages were they at when you and Ernie were in Astoria back from the East?
Excuse me. Well, they were,
I mean, you
let's
were
see, Dale.
parents?
Dale's, what?
I mean, you were parents and you had a
Well,
business
they,
to run?
they were older. Let's see, Gary was 6 when we were married. They were 6, 8, and 12. And then we practiced a little bit in Michigan. He was working for, excuse me, a man in Ypsilanti. And just at this particular time he was working there. And he had a courthouse job at Washington County. And we designed the county book. I put that.
Right, right.
So, and we had a studio in the house at home. But when we were in Astoria, excuse me, I had a lot of freedom. And I stayed home till the kids went to school, and then I tried to be home when they came home. So there was no problem.
So you worked part-time, and
Yeah,
you always kept connected, it sounds like.
Yeah, I sharpened the pencil so I could read anything.
That's very clever. But as a husband and wife team, I mean, everyone immediately thinks of the Venturis, for example, Denise Scott Brown, Robert Venturi. And I heard an interview with them where they said, yeah, there is a division of labor. It's your marriage translates into the practice. I mean, it's not, you don't just put on a different hat. And all of a sudden,
No,
you know.
no. But we didn't argue too much about it at home. We tried to keep
At
that.
6 o'clock, you know.
Yeah.
I guess
8
that's-
o'clock or whatever.
Yeah, right.
And every
Midnight.
weekend.
Huh.
No,
So what,
we found that these hospital boards particularly, or any church board or anything like that, the women were most receptive to having a woman on in the firm, and the men gradually came around, so it was fine.
huh.
Yeah,
Well, you didn't actively encourage or discourage your sons from entering?
No, not at all. No. They were very independent.
Uh-huh.
No. They just did not want to work as hard as we did, and we did have to work awfully hard. Because, excuse me, when you're in a small town, you can't pick up draftsmen willy-nilly. And you have to do the work yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So we did put in many hours, and then, as I told you, we served our clients well.
Yeah.
We did.
Sounds like you had a lot of repeat clients.
We had a lot of repeats.
Yeah.
For example, Albany Hospital started in 62, and then 69 was the last, second, 68 was the second, or 69. 69 was the second phase. And we had a lot of repeats because these administrators would tell another one and so on down the line. For years, we never had an interview. We didn't have to bother.
Huh. Well, they tend to be conservative in hiring, and they like to stay with the same person.
They what?
I've worked with hospital boards too, and they like to keep with the same person, just
Yes, they
stability.
do, if they can.
They're very conservative clients. Back to that intrinsic instability of the architecture field, which I think is greater than in other fields. Did you at any point attribute that to part of it to being female, or did you attribute it to just being a crazy field and it being wartime or bad times economically?
I don't think it was a bad time.
The 50s were pretty boom years.
Pardon?
The 50s were very good times, actually, for architects, for housing.
Well, that wartime housing was really like trailers. And they gave you so many feet of electrical wiring, you had to spot the stuff. so that wire would
All right.
cover.
All right. So you don't attribute much of the instability to being a woman?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, one thing I was interested in is you grew up in this largely Finnish community. Your father was very respected. How much of a, these days women speak of what they call a supportive network, and I know it's a new term, and it's, in your time you found other ways of finding support. Did you find a lot of support in the Finnish community?
For what?
For being a woman architect there, just for doing whatever you wanted to do?
Well, the Finns are very clannish. They had their little enclave in Uniontown. Mm-hmm. And then the Norwegians and the Danes were in Upper Town. Ah. The Swedes were kind of in between, and we were in the center part of town. I'm speaking residentially.
Okay.
And we were with the country club crowd, but we did not run with them, nor were we. My dad was a charter member, but he gave it up because he wanted to go, have his family go with him on Sundays. He didn't want to go golfing. Uh-huh. And so we went to the beach. We built a house.
Right.
But it was rather strange that the Finns held us in awe. The kids, Mm-hmm. And I had one person tell me that her son would like to have gone out with me, but I went to college. Couldn't do that. And
some things never change.
Yeah, right. And Norwegians and Swedes, I don't know, they were up here.
Uh-huh.
So,
did you ever really kind of acutely want to be able to call up another woman architect and nearby, like 50 miles away, and not have to feel so alone? I mean, when did you just find other ways to fill that need? Was it a need at all?
It wasn't a need.
It wasn't?
There weren't any architects 50 miles away.
Okay, 100.
Margaret was the closest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So did you work together, or did you just kind of keep up with each other's careers?
Oh, we kept up with each other. She came to our place a lot.
Right, you mentioned that. Uh-huh. But she was always up in Alaska, though. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, she lived in Portland and up on Council Crest, and then she lived out in Lake Oswego. She had a house. And she sold that house, let's see, she was in Juneau twice. Mm-hmm. Of course, the second time she stayed. It was after she had been, I think it was when she was up there the second time, she finally sold her house in Lake Oswego.
I see. So she must have fulfilled some of that need, even though you don't express it as being very strong. I mean, she fulfilled part of the networking that we call it today.
She felt a need for what?
No, she must have been there for you a lot. I mean, she must have been a very important person.
She is to everybody.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to get to know her.
Read the article.
Yeah, okay. Well,
yeah, we were supposed to go up there a year ago, and then we couldn't because of illness in the family on her 90th birthday. But we couldn't, and I haven't heard from her. She's in the Pioneer Home, they call it. Residents of Alaska who have lived up there a certain number of years can go free, no charge. And she's lived there. And I haven't heard the last year. I wrote to her some time ago, though. Huh. I should hear.
Wow.
She's a great gal.
Yeah. I understand what you feel when people are like, oh, well, who inspired you? Because people ask me that. Oh, well, who made you want to become an engineer? And it's like, well, I looked through what was offered at college, and I just kind of picked it. And there wasn't any, big explosion, oh, this is what I have to do. And even now, people ask, who are your co-workers or people that you really feel close to in the engineering field? And it's like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel a big need for networking with other engineers. I mean, women, yes, but not women engineers. So I understand where you're coming from.
Well, she was a personal friend, you see, too. And
she would have been your friend even if she hadn't been an architect.
Yeah, right.
It was just a personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful person. Very, very forthright and giving of herself to everybody. Too generous, really. Really, she is.
Really? Well, I would like to at some point read more about her. But when did you start hearing about, or just kind of noticing that there was a significant number of women entering the field? When did it just kind of dawn on you that maybe times are changing. Maybe.
I can't say any specific time. I think I've become more aware of it in the last few years, but for a long time there was just nothing. When I was in college, were there 4 or 5 of us? Polly Thompson had been there for 15 years before I ever got there, and she was still putzing around. And then the gal that married Chuck Endicott. I can't remember her name. Anyway, she got her man. Who else was there? Mary Alice came.
Right.
And
Marge Largent?
No?
Who was on the team?
Mary Alice, Marge, and then Len.
Lydia Belotis?
No,
Yeah.
no, that was before all of them. Yeah, there were just about 4 of us, I think.
So do you think that current challenges or obstacles to women that remain in the field are the same as they've always been, and that maybe they'll always be there?
The challenges?
Yeah, I mean, or obstacles to women in the field. I mean, it still is very male-dominated, and there still is that kind of fishbowl feeling. I've had that working in firms where I'm the only one in the back room. You know, the secretaries are all women, but so not a whole lot has changed to some degree, and I'm wondering if they're any different now than they were then. Do you see chances for that not being so in the future?
Well, I think they're more readily accepted. Women are more readily accepted. And they would hope that they would be recognized as architects, not women architects.
Right, I agree.
Yeah.
Good point.
It sounds like there's a lot more women architects and less work, whereas there was a lot of work back when you they just needed somebody to do it, so they didn't even really look at the fact that you're a woman. I mean, they needed a competent architect, and you fit the bill. Whereas now there are a lot of competent women and men architects, and they tend to pick the men just because there's so many to select from.
Yeah, the men stick together.
Yeah, and that's why women have started this
You have to really
network.
Approach it with confidence and let your client know that you know what you're talking about. But never impose your ideas on your client. You take them along very gently and lead them. But it's their money, and it's their hope and their dream and and you just don't impose yourself on them. You got to be very careful. You know, one of the things we did when we did the hospitals, we would meet with each department head, or a couple of them, and get their ideas. And of course, they always wanted the moon. They wanted everything. But from that, you begin to squeeze it down to the budget and the needs of the hospital. And that went over big. They had a lot of confidence in you when you do that, instead of just plunking it down. And I know some of my men contemporaries, here it is, and this is the color it's going to be.
Right, take it or leave it. Yeah.
You don't do that. You don't do that.
Not if you want them to repeat. Yeah, it's true.
Well, you don't get the repeats if you do that.
We need to wrap it up for it's almost
Probably.
That's all right. Go ahead.
I have a couple quick,
That's fine.
some technical questions that I picked up when reading about your father and your work. Your father did a lot of buildings that had to be raised. They were engineered so that they could fit the final grades in the Astoria grading plan. I'm just curious how they did it then.
I don't know much about it myself because I didn't realize that until I did some reading. And I noticed I found one of his old ledgers. I've lost all my jewelry. I've misplaced it.
Oh, no.
And I've been searching all over the house for it. And I crossed one of his old ledgers the other day. And I noticed it was really a ledger of accounts. And he would get so many dollars for the drawings for raising that. I don't know how they did it. I really can't tell you. And I don't know if anybody who can inform me.
I mean, they must have used mechanical jacks.
Oh, they must have. They must have.
I
Yeah.
don't know, kind of like underpinning, but you're...
I don't know, but when I think of the size of, say, the Weinhardt Hotel, how did they do it? I don't know.
Especially with the foundations your father designed.
Yeah, I'll say. Helped us out, Wicks.
Really. As a firm, you and your husband built a model dairy barn for W.F. McGregor.
Well, my father did that,
Oh, okay.
not me.
Oh,
That was
okay.
long before my time.
Got it wrong. Okay.
But
Anyway.
it's still in operation, I guess.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and I have to get out there to see it.
Is it still in operation with the floor that's made of wooden
Mhm,
bricks?
Still there.
Impregnated with that asphalt? Why did he use that?
I can't tell you.
Bit of an experiment?
No, I doubt that. I doubt that. There's so many things I would like to ask him. Of course, I can't now, but I wish I'd put him in the car and said, look, let's go and see all the houses you might have done, as you remember them.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do that either. I was so busy. But now I wish I had, because a house has a little mark on it in design that you can pretty well. But I can't specifically say, yes, he did this one or this one. And I wish I
Especially that physician's residence and office. That sounded very interesting.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that about wraps up my questions.
Yeah. I know Elizabeth Hetfeld, she wanted to meet you, and she wants to come out to Astoria in the future, so do plan on hearing from her, because she would like to drive out and meet you. She would.
Well, I'll be up in Portland again next week. I have to see my cardiologist, and my eyes are bothering me so badly, and I have to see an ophthalmologist here.
Uh-huh.
And then the 29th, 30th,
Oh, of November?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that sounds like that would give us a chance to listen to tape.
Yeah.
See if we have more questions.
Let's see. So 29th, I think. Let's see. It's Friday and Saturday. And my husband has to come up early because he has a meeting on Friday.
The 30th, Saturday is the 30th.
Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then we'll be up to 29th and 30th.
Okay.
29th. He has a noon meeting.
Okay. Would it be possible if we had more questions, or if you wanted to listen to this, to get
We'll
together?
be here, not at
Oh.
Heathman.
Oh, okay. Very good.
I
Okay.
kind of have one question to wrap things up.
Yeah.
Other women that you meet your age, from your generation,
Yeah.
do you feel really unique from them? Does it seem like most of them had completely different lives? You know, they were just moms that stayed at home, and that you were much more...
Focus.
Yeah, that's...
No, just other women your age that grew up in the same time period. Do you feel really different and unique from
No,
them?
why am I different?
Well, because you had a career, whereas maybe they didn't at all. They didn't get out in the public. They didn't meet with, businessmen and...
Yeah, I know what you mean. The only time I feel it is that I feel that they sort of shy away. They're afraid
Oh, I feel that.
too intellectual.
Yeah.
That you'll automatically make comparisons.
Yeah, they do.
They do immediately.
Just like they say, oh, I don't want you to come to my house and sit there and look at everything. I don't. I can find the same amount of dust at my house. This was all the first two phases.
Oh, we're going to want to show some of your work.
Oh, it isn't showing. I thought
No.
I'd show you.
No, it is.
But
It absolutely is.
we would want to take pictures. We don't want your work, of course, but we'd want to take a picture of this to have.
I told Elizabeth that I have a problem because I only did a few things at home way back,
Mm-hmm.
And and my dad did most of the structural work. But now, like Ernie and I did this one.
Where
These
is
are the
this?
first, Albany. We didn't even have money enough to put Albany Hospital in. And that was taken just after it was opened.
Late 60s.
But it's only the first 2 phases. They haven't gone any further. And you know, immediately after that, and we did a lot of research before we did that hospital. Immediately, or very shortly thereafter, this whole concept of hospitals changed. In-room birthings and one-day surgery stuff, you know, and so it made for a little unhappiness on the part of some people, I think, because we didn't have that.
Right.
That concept was
right. It was the effect of economics changing architecture there. Yeah. Well, what we'd like to do is certainly be able to photograph your thesis model.
Well, I've got the negatives.
Oh, okay, very good.
But now this was how we started. See, I took, and it's crude, you know, because these were bubble studies of neighborhoods.
Right.
But first of all, you project population
right.
and all this sort of stuff, and then you work from that, and then you develop it into neighborhoods. And these would be like.
Are you familiar with this technique?
Huh?
This is interesting.
Yeah, it's a planning technique that shows clusters.
Well, this would be like junior high school area, and these are elementary schools. I've forgotten what it was based on. 28,000 or something like that.
And do those projections, the demographics work out?
Yeah. No, they haven't.
No.
Not for us, are you?
Huh?
No.
And then this is the second step.
Well, and then this was the second phase, you see. And then you try to follow contours and a little more. Now, this is the thing that they're talking about now.
Oh.
But State Highway was talking about going this way, and then over this way, and then across. And this is the thing that when I go across this causeway, I laugh. But
So this is there now.
This is there, yeah.
Oh.
But not this part. This is all wetlands now.
I see.
That's all changed.
Well, they had to have access to the airport, so something happened. I must get there. This is right in Astoria?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, gotta get out there.
Fabulous building.
Do you have any old photos of yourself at work, at school, on a construction site that you'd be comfortable? They could be from now, they could be from way back.
That would be neat.
If you feel comfortable with that, otherwise it's okay. Whatever you want.
I don't know what I have.
You must have one or two pictures with you and Ernie, sitting at the drawing board. That'd be a good one to have up there.
Or that some joker took with you in the back with your father. Anything that you...
I'll see what
Okay. Yeah, that would be neat.
This was a Astor Library. That's a pretty good one.
Oh, my goodness.
In Astoria.
You got into precast.
Precast?
Yeah, these are panels. Were they tilt up or?
Yeah, they were.
No. Huh. Tilt up went back that far. See, how long ago was this done?
Was that one?
What year was this done?
You ask these things.
No, sorry.
You knew how. Let's see. I don't think I even put it on here. I just grabbed it at the last minute. I didn't put it on. I don't know.
Looks like 60s, early 60s maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it was in the 60s. I'll get this stuff. I'll pick out the best stuff that I can.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is going to be these visuals are great for the exhibit.
Just keep in mind that we have 2 3x4 boards, I think. Is that the size we're using?
I'm not going to delve
Or
into
no,
this
30 by
stuff
40,
because
I'm sorry.
There isn't that much. That's for me. I don't think so.
All right. Well, so Elizabeth or one of us will be back in touch with you. I know Elizabeth wants to meet you, and maybe at that point she could get the negatives for your models and have those made off, and you and her could sit down and decide, like things like this that you don't have negatives for. We'd like to take them, have a picture taken of them, and then return them. Anything in the exhibit.
Pictures. I might have a black and white, a good black, a glossy or something.
Okay, great.
I haven't had time to look.
So you and
I'm looking for
Elizabeth
my jewelry.
can work on it.
They're probably in the same.
I'm worried about the
Oh,
jewelry.
I'm worried about it.
Oh,
because it's-
sure.
Yeah.
Gee,
They're probably in the same place.
where?
Isn't it funny how over the years you accumulate
Well,
so
no,
much?
it isn't that long. We went to Bend in May, and I think I put them away. I've done this before, but not this long. Gee, it's terrible. I'll look around and see what I can find.
Okay.
It won't
No,
take extremely good
I
care
want
of this.
to. Yeah, I want to get that back
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
I'll bring the envelope. And that is not her address now.
Oh,
So
okay. I'll
don't-
put this back in.
But that might give you a little to go on.
So you would really
Pretty good.
recommend that we interview her too, then?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know what shape she's in now. I think she's 92.
And she's up in Alaska?
Juno.
In Juneau.
Oh, well, not very
Yeah.
much.
No.
Yeah.
No, unless you can interview her by
Phone.
letter or by
Letter.
phone. I have a telephone number. That's her bedside phone, but I don't know what shape she's. I'll call Margaret and kind of see what the situation is.
Great.
I would
Doing
think-
a letter, a written interview would be fine. That's the easiest thing for
I
her.
don't think she writes it. She has arthritis.
She could talk and
Yeah,
tape
right,
recorder.
right. She could. I'll
Okay.
look around a little bit.
Okay,
No,
great. Okay, well, we really
Ernie's
appreciate
meeting
your
is
time.
at 1 o'clock on the 29th, Friday.
Okay.
So I think we'll have this thing.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but
Well, this has really been enjoyable. Thank you for talking with us. I mean,
Really.
it's,
I'm not much of an interviewee.
Well, I think that sometimes when younger generations view people that has having done it quite a bit and doing significant things, it needs time really to look that way.
Well, I'm sorry we were fouled up because
Oh,
we had
Speaking
more
of time, yeah.
Right.
Densities that have gone crazy on the shores. I mean, my father grew up on the New Jersey shore, and they have artificial buttresses and jetties and abutments and you name it. Every single U.S. Army Corps of Engineers study has proposed something new, and they just can't because there's just too much development. It's literally making it sink. And so we try to go to Atlantic City now, because as kids, the Monopoly board is based on it. It was very inspiring.
That's frightening.
It's an art pit.
I think Lincoln City is a pretty good example of what's going to happen unless we have some control.
Well, anyway, we don't want to make you late for lunch. Ooh, it's 12:30.
yeah.
Oh, he'll be back. Don't worry. Oh, he could have lunch over there, so that's no problem. Well, again, I'm sorry about it.
Oh.